This episode of the Focus Action Results podcast is brought to you by Accelerate Performance, creators of the Focus Action Results course and the FAR Planner. Welcome to the podcast that promises you'll be much more productive with me, your host, Ralph Varcoe. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Focus Action Results podcast, and it's really great to be here. Thank you for joining. So today is all about the art of saying no. Just saying no. You might think it's a bit counterintuitive. You're in a world where people want things, need things. You have colleagues, friends, family, children. They ask you to do things and you think, do you know what? To be a nice person, I need to say yes. I want to help them. I want to be a good citizen, a good corporate citizen, a good neighbour, and I want to help people. So they say, can you do this? And you kind of go, oh, I haven't really got time, but do you know what? Okay, all right. So I'll help you. And then you help them. And then you get to the end of the day and you feel good because you helped them, but you haven't done the things that you wanted to do. So there's a real skill in being able to say no. Probably the best story about this is Steve Jobs, the late, great Steve Jobs, and it was in 1996. The sales of Apple products around Christmas time fell way short. They had been pretty distracted looking at a whole bunch of things, and it just hadn't hit the mark for them. So Steve Jobs looks at things and he says in his developer conference in 1997 that there is an art to saying no. He said, focusing is about saying no. You've got to say no, no, no. And when you say no, you piss people off. It's true. Because if you keep saying no to everybody, then people aren't going to be particularly happy with you because you just don't look like you're being cooperative. You don't look like you're being part of the team, part of the family, part of the neighbourhood. But it's all about what you want to focus on. This podcast is called Focus Action Results. So one of the key things that we want to do here is teach you how to focus. Now, I'm not saying that you want to be a complete dick about it and every time somebody asks you something you just go no. But what you do want to do is be clear about what you're prepared to say yes to. Now, I worked for a long period of time, as some of you will know from having read my book and having listened to some of the other podcast episodes. I worked for a company that was called Equant. It then got sold to France Telecom and it became Orange Business Services. I worked with the French for a very long time. And this is going to sound like a stereotype, and we may well even get our French friend Francois to join us on the phone shortly to talk to us about this. So that would be great because we'll hear from him. He's always a bit amusing. And it used to be the case when I worked at Orange Business Services and before that at Equant, where I would go to the French management and I would say, we need to do this or that or the other for our customer, or here's an initiative which I think would be good for us to work on. And the first response that I would get would be, no. I'd send another email and I would ask, and the message would come back, no. And then I would ask again, in a different way. No sense asking the same thing in the same way because you're just going to get the same response. So I thought, you know what, I will ask in a different way and see whether I can get something from them this way. And guess what came back? The same response. It was no. And I remember talking to one of my senior directors and saying, what is this? And he said, well, look, partly it's a cultural thing, but also it's about focus. Or as the chief executive that we had at the time in one of the famous customer events came onto the stage and he said, ladies and gentlemen, we must focus. Of course, the Brits, the Americans all pissed themselves laughing. The French didn't quite understand why, but nevertheless, there we are. Bit of a language thing there, a bit of an accent thing. It was actually very funny. But it is all about focus, right? So if you're going to focus, you're going to have to learn to say no. And he talked to the CEO of Nike, Mark Parker, and Jobs told him that focus wasn't saying yes, but it was about learning to turn down the smart, interesting work that takes people away from their most important priorities. Focus, Jobs told Parker, means saying no to the 100 other good ideas. He then added that he was actually very proud of the things that he hadn't done as the things that they had done at Apple. Innovation is saying no to 1,000 things. You have to pick carefully. There's another amazing business person you'll all have heard of. He is the sage of Omaha. It is Warren Buffett. He shared his mindset and reportedly said that the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Almost everything. Think about that. You have to say no to almost everything that comes through. Now, if you're going to say no to almost everything that comes through, you've got to be very clear about what it is that you are wanting to say yes to, because it's not about saying no to everything. It's about saying no to almost everything. That means you need to be very clear about what you think you should be saying yes to. Set those goals. We talked about them being big and hairy in the last episode. Have those goals. Make sure you know what you're trying to achieve. And then if you get asked to do things, or things come up, or ideas come up that don't resonate, then you say no, because it's not taking you in the direction of you hitting and achieving the goals that you want to hit. So that was Warren Buffett. Also, Suzy Welch, she recommends having a list of no responses ready in your back pocket so that you can decline things that you're being asked to do. Or you can negotiate deadlines to a time that actually suits you, because let's face it, you will get asked to do things and you may well think, do you know what, actually, I'd be fine doing that. It's just I haven't got time right now. You may want to do it. It just isn't congruent with the goals that you've set yourself. And so you can still do those things, but you have to focus on the goals that you want to achieve and the process steps that you have, that you've defined for each of those. And then once you've done them, you can come to the thing that you're being asked to do. And so you can negotiate a deadline with somebody. You can say, well, look, I can't do it right now, but I will be able to do it if you give me 3 days or a week, or I can spare you an hour here or there. And what you want to make sure is that you're not caught on the hop, that you're not sitting there and you're asked something and then you kind of go, okay. Or that you're asked to do something to help somebody and you kind of go, I've got to, actually I've got to drop my dry cleaning off. So because you just sound like you're making it up, because you are making it up. If you have a list of things that you could use to decline, then you've got them there. And you can think, okay, so somebody asks you to do something and you can go, actually, I'm really busy on a work project right now. I've got to complete this by the so-and-so date. So at the moment, I can't do that. I really would like to help you though. So if I can, could I help you in 3 or 4 days time once I've finished this? And then, and how long is it going to... Okay, yeah, I can give you about an hour, but it's going to have to be in a couple of days' time. So you're really clear about what you can do, what you can't do, what time you have available, and what the reasons are. And they are genuine reasons. It's not like you just lazy, because you are a go-getter. You're a goal-getter, right? You're learning about how to focus. You're learning about how to take action in order that you can achieve the things that you want to achieve. So you're not lazy. You are one of the least lazy people out there. So this saying no business isn't about just kind of going, do you know what, I can't be asked. I just want to sit on the sofa and I just want to watch Netflix all the time. This is about you going, I've got a goal. I know what I need to do, what the actions are that need to get me to do that. And actually that is the path that I'm taking. So make sure that I'm very focused on that I'm going to say no to other things that are going to distract me from that. And then you come back to those things afterwards. So if you have that list, as Suzy Welch suggests, then you will be in a better position to be able to say no. Okay. Also think about what the categories are of things. Now, I advocate when I talk in my course, my online course, the Focus Action Results online course, and also in the FAR planner, the Focus Action Results planner, that you should have multiple areas of your life. You should look at and be cognizant of the personal goals that you want to go after. Then there are also the business goals, there are family goals. And you should look at all of those. So I think we talked about in a previous episode, when you're putting your goals together, don't just focus on things that are selfishly personal. Well, they're your goals. You can if you like. It just doesn't work for me. And it probably won't work for all the people that you have and hold near and dear in your lives to do the same, right? Because you are part of a family, you are part of a work community, you're part of a neighborhood. And so you need to be part of those, and you need to think about what are the things that I can contribute. And it's not just about take. It's not just about selfish. I've got my goals I want to achieve, therefore if it doesn't fit in with those, I'm not going to do anything. Right, so this whole just say no isn't about being an entirely selfish person who's just motivated by their own ends. This is about really understanding what you're trying to go after in the various different areas of your life. Personal goals, work goals, family, community, etc. And then saying no to the things that don't help you in those regards. Okay. So, let's see. Have we got on the line, Francois? Well, funnily enough, yes, we do. Francois is here. Francois, hello, how are you? Yes, hello. Hello, yes, this is Francois. I'm very pleased to be on the show again. I thought you'd never have me back after I was talking about the ménage à trois, but clearly I am here. And, well, I wanted to just talk about the thing that you said when you worked at Orange. And, well, this is true. You know, we at school, we learn about the philosophy in France. It's a big thing. And, well, it is not something that you have in the UK or the US, but in France, we are very philosophical. We will think about a topic and a problem from a lot of different angles. And, well, of course, you know, in our education system, it is very correct that we have lots of maths and the French. We also learn English because we have to. It's a shame, but we have to. Things would have been very different if things hadn't gone the way they did in the American Revolution and the war and things like that. It could be that French would be the language everybody spoke, but sadly that was not to be. Well, there we are. But this is true that in the education system, we look at the philosophy and we think about things from a multitude of different angles. And, well, it is a part of our culture that if somebody asks for something, we would look at it and we will go, non. It is a management culture thing as well, because if somebody asks for something and, well, they may not need it, and it may not be appropriate, so we would say non, and get them to come back and ask again, and then say non, because then they have to refine their argument and come back to us and say non again. Well, and frankly, it is just easier to pronounce non than oui, so we say non. Now, there is one thing in French, in France, where we do not say non as a first response. This is in the language of love again. You know, if somebody comes and says, you know, I would, you are very, shall we go out for dinner? You know what they say, that one half of Paris makes love to the other half, or maybe a third and 2 thirds, as we talked about last time. And so what we say is, we say yes, we say oui. We will go out, and we do not say non. I mean, unless they are very ugly, and they're very not talented, and they don't wash. But otherwise, we say oui. because we love to have the nice food, the nice wine, a bit of discussion about the philosophy and everything that is wrong in America, and of course everything that is wrong over La Manche. I mean, you call it the English Channel. This is an insult. It is Le Manche. Yes, and so we go out and we have these discussions, and some of those turn into the 5 à 7 as we talk about, but we enjoy this and going out with other people, so we do not say non, we say oui. But it is part of our culture, and it is something that we enjoy to do, so it is part of the goals that we have in terms of family or extra-family liaison. It is about social, it is about community, and yes, we enjoy this very much. And you know, I am going off on a little tangent, but you know, I'm speaking to you just before Christmas in the 2020. What a terrible year! But you know, the UK is about to crash out without a deal, and it is all over the fish. And, well, you know, we have our president. I like to call him Emmanuel Mackerel. That is because mackerel is a fish. Yes, I mean, you know, I sincerely wish that you are not leaving, but you are. And, well, I hope that there is something that can be done. And in this instance, I wish that everybody around the table would not simply be saying no. But we would like this with the fishing rights, or no. We would like these concessions, no. We would like to do this, no. It would be far better if people would sit around the table and would be going, oui, yes, I can see how this would work for all of us. But sadly, no. And I hope I am wrong that the UK will crash out without a deal. But I fear the worst, and this is a situation where I think it would be far better it would have been far better for the UK to have said, we want to stay, but sadly that was not the case. Well, certainly from my side, as a French citizen, I would wish that to be the case. Anyway, so there we are. So yes, it is a thing in France that we talk about non first, and then second, and then third, and fourth, and fifth, until we say, okay, yes, perhaps, this is perhaps something that we will do, except in the lessons of love, and French culture, and food, and wine, and talking, but there we are. Anyway, thanks for having me again on this show, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Well, thank you there, Francois. Really great to have you on. And, you got a little bit political there. I'm not sure that all of our listeners will agree with you, but anyway, there we are. We did say no as a nation, and we have the consequences to come. Now, coming back to the point about us as individuals achieving the goals that we want to achieve, get that list of no's that you can give to people who ask you to do things that are not congruent with your business, personal, family, or community goals that you have, and work out how you can position new deadlines for the things that you want to do. But be really focused. Be like Steve Jobs, be like Suzy Welch, be like Warren Buffett, and say no to the things that aren't going to move you forwards. Because saying no is the key to enabling you to focus on the things that are going to move you forwards. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and please do tune in to the next episode. I look forward to speaking to you then. Thanks a lot. Bye.
I hope that was helpful for you today and you enjoyed listening to the Focus Action Results podcast. If it was either helpful or enjoyable, or heaven forbid both, please subscribe, leave feedback, share with friends and family, and tweet it loud with the hashtag Focus Action Results podcast.